All right, good morning. All right, a couple of roster conversations, announcements to make here. So, Kerryon Johnson, we added to the injured reserve list today, and then Jamal Agnew will be brought up to the 53-man roster. So that rounds us all off there at 53. Okay. So, obviously preparations here underway for the Vikings. Big game for us here at home, and obviously a really good team coming into our place, a team that performed extremely well last week against the Dolphins, and all the changes that they had up there, they obviously played the game exactly how they wanted to, and really they're in a great position and trying to come down here and kind of keep working towards the rest of their season. So we got a big challenge in front of us, and we got to do a great job of going out and trying to give ourselves a chance to win. So be a good week for us to go out and try to get better. So what do we got?
A question about your draft class, just the way things have gone. It looks like you've gotten really a good full look at you've got including game action, round 1 through 5. Now, forgetting the fullback, I wonder what you think about that. Is that a little different than most years? And then with 2 games left to go, what more can you see about these guys?
It's been good that we've had those guys out there, and just like all the players that have played this year, and as we continue to push through the rest of the season, that have developed, and watch everybody's development, whether you're year 1 or year 2 or year 9, it doesn't matter. But it's been good to see those young guys kind of go through the transition. It's always an interesting year, the first year coming out of college and being able to handle the NFL season. And I always think the year 1 to year 2 transition is always another really interesting, growth development period for the players, because they're actually involved in an off season and have a chance to kind of, be here for the spring, for the full spring, and get ready to go. But, all that for us right now is it's on the back burner right now for us. It's all about getting ready to try to go out and compete against obviously an outstanding Vikings team. So that's our focus. That's our goal right now. And we got a lot of work to do this week.
I talked to Jamal Agnew about this a little bit last week. He was excited to possibly come back, said that he thought he made a lot of growth early in the season and wanted to sort of finish the year on the right note. I was wondering if you could maybe speak to that, just how he played early and the importance of, for young guys to have some positive momentum, I guess, going into the offseason.
I think he's someone that works really hard and has really done everything we've asked to push through his situation. I think in the beginning part of the year and really through the spring, there was a lot of growth and a lot of development there, not only in special teams but on defense, which was great to see. And he was someone that was helping us early in the season win and put us in a situation to at least be competitive, and that was good. But obviously we're just in a different transition phase right now where we just got to try to get ready to go here with the team, and he'll be up and working this week to see where he's at. It's obviously hasn't played football in a long time, so can't really make any predictions there until we get a chance to take a look at it.
Carry on the bring to your run game. I know the season's not over, but now him going on IR, maybe reflect back a little bit, just what he brought, and how that improved.
I think really the reflection part of it for me is probably going to be in a much later date. I think right now we're just trying to get ready to get our run game going against the Vikings, which will be a big enough problem for us. So, we know that the guys that we got out there in the run game, and with LeGarrette and Zach and Theo. We got to get the run game, keep it going, and like we've been doing since Kerryon got hurt. So, Kerryon obviously was great, obviously, when he was out there in the part of the season of growing and learning as a young player. But, right now it's all about the Vikings for us and the players that we have.
Vikings paid pretty good money to bring Kirk Cousins to town. I was wondering, you've seen him once already this year.
Yeah.
What does he do well at the position?
You know what? I think, and as we've kind of seen him since, through tape and things like that. I think he does a really good job of just his decision making, and I think he's a really smart quarterback that obviously understands the scheme and the system. And the best thing he's doing is getting the ball to his go-to guys. He's got a bunch of great players around him that they're doing a great job of just obviously with Thielen this year and Diggs, and even just having the whereabouts with the run game to get them in the proper run so that Cook can go out and be productive, and Rudolph at the tight end position. You can pick it. He's been able to get the ball to a lot of really good players and spread the ball around and be efficient with the ball in that manner, which as a quarterback sometimes it's it is trying to manage the the opportunities for everybody to get the ball and get it spread around, which in their system he's able to do right now.
You move guys around a lot, but Nevin Lawson's handled a lot of those slot nickel snaps since Jamal got hurt. Just wondering what you thought of how he handled that role, and then is Jamal at a spot where he can pick any of those snaps back up right away?
Yeah, I mean, I think with with Nevin, I think he's just really going even back to the spring with him. We put him inside a little bit in the spring, put him outside. We've kind of used him a little bit through the course of the season in different roles, and I would say as part of his development, that's been a great improvement for him. Has been able to be in a couple different spots and really to be in a couple different spots in the same game. Where he's able to kind of really understand the game plan and what we need to do, and have multiple positions ready to go for himself, and different adjustments that we talk about, and his ability to adapt to that has been it's been great. It's really helped us a lot. So I think he's just continuing to learn and continuing to improve and grow as a player, which is good for us. That's what we need to see, and we'll have to have more of that here as we go through the next couple of weeks. So and again with Agnew, we'll see. We'll get out and practice and go from there. But it'll be good just to have him out on the field.
You guys had just one Pro Bowler. What does that say about maybe the talent on the roster, if anything?
You know what? It was great. I'm obviously very excited for Slay, and Diggs was an alternate. So, for us, I think in those situations we're always, congratulatory to those individual awards. We think they're great, but we do know it's a team game, and there's a lot of players that surround those guys during the course of a season and course of a game that also contribute to everybody's play and production. So we take good pride in all of that as a group. So for us though, it's about the Vikings, about getting ready for Minnesota.
Just to follow up, you don't think do you have enough A blue chippers, B depth to?
Nah, I think that's pretty much exactly what I said is kind of how I feel about it.
You've seen some pretty good defensive fronts this year, but Minnesota is obviously one of the top ones. 9 sacks again last week. They had 10 against you the first time around. Just what is it about them that's so difficult to try to contain?
Well, obviously, I think when we played him last time, we talked a lot about Hunter and how impactful he is on the edge. And I think for them, I think Griffin has really taken advantage of those opportunities then where so much attention has gone over to Hunter, and Sheldon Richardson inside has really done a good job of being disruptive. And then that on top of the multiplicity of the scheme, that Coach Zimmer runs, and with Barr coming off the edge, or whether it's Harrison Smith kind of down in the front coming off the edge, they'd have just multiple different ways to pressure the quarterback and to just kind of keep the heat on the offensive line from that standpoint. So a lot of really great players, a lot of good scheme, everybody kind of working together, and I think that's something that they've been able to develop, through the course of a number of years, and kind of being in the same system, in the same scheme with, a lot of the same players for a while really has allowed that to grow, and that's why I just think it's so dynamic, and especially in those real, tough situations that the ball's going to be thrown in third down, second and long, things like that, where they can really just kind of dial it up and go.
It looks like they want to feature the run more. What does that play into Delvin Cook's strength? And then plus Latavius Murray is a pretty good runner on his own. Right?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously Cook, with as explosive as he is and dynamic, and his ability to move, in and out of the line of scrimmage, get out into space, dip in, dip out, and kind of, create explosive runs out of really nothing is extremely difficult to defend. But then, Murray comes in and he can do the same thing with just, he's power. He has a great stiff arm. He can get downhill. He can get vertical into the defense quickly, and he's a hard guy to tackle. So I think they have great combination there in those backs, and they use them extremely well. And I think they can just kind of keep coming at you from different angles and different looks. They were able to mix in, I would say, a few different personnel groups this past weekend than what they've been able to do in the past. And I think they did a great job of taking advantage of some of those angles and some of the leverage that they were able to create with the formationing and the personnel groupings that they used, which helped them in the run game, quite a bit.
With what the Vikings did to Matthew in November, and really what they've done with him historically since Zimmer's been there, and him playing hurt now, how do you balance maybe the short-term gain of what you guys are trying to do, win the game, versus concern about his long-term health? Because it would seem like so many hits could be problematic, and if he gets hurt badly now, that could even go into 2019.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that the NFL it's a violent sport, and when you step in between those white lines, it's it's something that every player that's out on the field has to deal with, and they understand that there is a risk of injury. But we're certainly never going to put somebody out there in put them in an injury situation where they can't perform, and put themselves in a situation where they can't protect themselves if that was an issue. So for us, we're if guys are ready to go and they're healthy and they can go out and perform and help us win, and then that's what we're going to go try to do. So I think for us, that's really kind of just our focus with it, and certainly we do take in a lot of things into account in those situations, and we have great medical staff to inform us along with the players. But I think for us, it's more of a whatever the games have been in the past is not really the focus for us. It's what we what obviously our execution and our assignments and things like that we have to handle for this weekend to make sure that we don't have those games like we had last time, and that we put everybody in better situations to give them a chance to succeed. I know, Carlos, you had one.
In your offense, what's the value of a pass catching tight end? Why haven't you had more production out of your tight ends this year?
I think value of pass catching tight ends throughout the course of the league is something that certainly helps an offense from that standpoint, puts a lot of pressure on the defense from an inside part of the where you got to defend the coverages, things like that, and how you got to handle those situations. But certainly for us, I think we're using all of our talent and our ability to the best that we can to help us win. And some teams have tight ends, some teams have wide receivers, some teams have backs, some teams have different strengths and weaknesses, and we try to use our strengths that we have currently to the best of our ability, and know that there's going to be situations where those other guys are going to have to come through and make plays, which we've been able to do through the course of the year too in those situations, and certainly even recently through the last couple of weeks, I think at the tight end position we've made a couple big plays. So it's all part of the game and part of the strategy of whatever it is that week that we need to do to be successful, and we'll continue to try to do that as we go forward. Okay. All right. Thanks.